Hello, everyone. Welcome to Opinions New by Dr. Frank P. I'm Frank. In this episode, my topic is between conservative tradition and extreme left. My comment on the vice presidential candidate debate. Okay. As we know, that the one and only vice president candidate debate of 2020 U.S. presidential election, was held last Wednesday in Salt Lake City on the campus of the University of Utah. This debate was highly expected and closely watched for many reasons, right? But the key to this debate, in my opinion, is that this debate has this historical, significance, because it's actually a big fight between traditional conservative of the United States and the left extremist of the socialist forces in this country. Okay. Of course, this debate is between current U.S. Vice President and trusted partner of Donald Trump, Mike Pence, and California U.S. Senator Kamala Harris. Okay. And Susan Page of USA Today served as the moderator. I kind of like the format that the two candidates, two debaters are sitting down and to talk. It's kind of like very civil and very, let's say, more cordial, right? It's not that confrontational. And so, there's a possibility for a very rational, debate and discussion. I think that's good. But there are some, transparent plexiglasses, between the two. That looks very funny, but it also clear shows that there's definitely a fight on two sides. Okay? I have to say the Susan Page of USA Today, the moderator, she's fairly fair, pretty very fair, and the time given to the two candidates after they tally that later on, are almost the same, almost exactly the same. To the difference to the like only a few seconds. You can see that this moderator did a really good job, and the question, the sharpness of the question and fair treatment of both candidates are also in pretty good shape, right? Because we all remember the first debate, presidential debate between Trump and Biden, right? The moderator from Fox TV News, Mr. Chris Wallace, in my opinion, he's one-sided, right? He's one-sided, and we also learned that the Commission on Presidential Debate fired Wallace afterwards, and he will never become a moderator for a presidential debate. So I think in that regard, we can see the Americans are pretty good at learning from our mistakes. We can correct our mistakes, and correct our wrongdoing. So this the second debate, which is the vice presidential debate, is pretty good. I think it set a good foundation for the next future debates, and also for the workings of American democracy. Okay. Now, as I said, why is this debate so highly expected and closely monitored? Right? And many people believe that it's even more important than the remaining two presidential debates. Right? Of course, we know there won't be two more presidential debates. There won't be just one, because the second one is canceled. There's only one more debate between Trump and Biden, in the coming weeks. Right? The saying that it's more important than the presidential debate is not that too far-fetched. I think it's quite reasonable. There's several reasons for that. Okay? Number one reason, this is you can see this is the only vice president debate. Right? Everyone knows Pence, very well. We know this vice president. We know his personality and his performance, very well. But we Americans overall know Kamala Harris probably relatively less, right? Because she has not been in at the federal level, serving the federal level, as U.S. senators for too long, and she was also, eliminated early during the Democrats, presidential, primary, and she was eliminated early. And outside of California, and Americans don't know her as much, and everyone feel that we need to closely watch her to see how she performs, what she thinks, right? I think the second reason, as many observed, that is the confrontation of the ideals of these two people, right? Two candidates, right? Pence, Vice President Pence, of course, is the well-known conservative, right? He is so conservative that he's even you can say he's more conservative than President Trump. He's devoted Christians, right? And but Kamala Harris, we also know that she is actually representative. She is probably on the furthest left among the liberals, right? And also many of the policies and the things she did, well, in California as the Attorney General, was not exactly, in line with traditional Christian values, right? We can see that between the two, we can see there's a big fight between the left and right, right? Conservative and liberals, and the traditions, and new ways of progressive ideals. Okay? The third reason that this is a very important debate is that normally we would expect that the VP debate to be VP to be people in the forefront, the frontiersmen for the president. So we can watch the VP debate to find out something about maybe something that's forthcoming from the presidential candidate. But that's probably not the case in this debate or in this election. And we know, clearly what's the plan for Biden and Trump, right? And fourth reason, I think, is because we are watching this debate closely is because both presidential candidates, I mean, Trump and Biden, are pretty old, right? No matter who is going to be in the White House in January, if Trump is there, he's going to be 74. And if Biden's there, he's going to be 78. So American people, unlike many Asian people, Americans don't mind talking about the death, right? Even the death of the president. Right? We have seen many movies, Hollywood movies about the U.S. presidents being murdered, assassinated, or White House being bombarded, And of course, we also know that the one of the major duty of vice president is to take over presidency when the president is no longer capable. Okay? So whether these two vice president candidates, whether both of them, either one or two of them, can really take over the position of president. And to Americans, this is not really too far off, idea. It's likely, unfortunately, right? So we want to make sure that the person who could be in a position to take over the nuclear buttons and to be the leader of the free world, if he or she is really qualified. Okay? That's why everyone, I think, many people are watching this debate very carefully. And also, we know that for this VP debate, President Trump was watching, and he even put some tweeters, pieces on Twitter to kind of negate, the sayings or the statement by Harris. And also, it's kind of interesting that when they talk about the economy, and Kamala Harris actually, refused to recognize what her stance on this before, and changed her mind, saying that she's not against fracking. And then you can see that Trump immediately posted a video clip of Kamala Harris saying that she, would stop, fracking on the Twitter by Trump. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. There are altogether 9 topics of this EP debate. In my opinion, I think Pence did really well, extremely well on all topics. It's overwhelmingly defeating Kamala Harris. Yeah. I think Pence talks in a really, stable and calm way, and his eyes, looking very solidly, looking at the opponents, and his logic is very clear, and his supporting documents, supporting evidence is abundant and solid, and he's also very respectful to the opponent, right? Very polite, and but yet, he's very clear on his stance, against the other side. And obviously, in my opinion, this shows that this is a person with deep, deep religious belief, right? And that's, with people with such a devotedness in religion, and then he can demonstrate this kind of like a solid pose and calmness. Right? And also, we all know that President Pence, Vice President Pence, has a great record as to morality and nothing scandalous around him. And I think he's virtual, and his energy field really, really, shook his opponent and the moderator and even people watching the debate. Right? Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, in my opinion, is limited in her scope, and her opinions are extreme and biased, and she can't really think of things from this big picture. Right? And also, I feel like she's not really on solid ground on many of the issues, and things her statements sounds very how to say that, frivolous, and also she's begging, or she's appeasing to the audience, try to appease the audience, right? And she cannot pose a threat to Pence. Right? But let's not talk about the ability, the candidate's ability to debate the way they talk, or the grasp of the background knowledge, and how quick they can react, or the depth of their argument. Let's talk about let's just disregard all these issues, key issues about debate by itself. But I think that the real battle, or real difference, or real confrontation between the two are on their fundamental ideals. Right? This is the confrontation between traditional and conservatism in America, and also the left, the extremist, and the socialist forces in America. Okay? The 9 topics they covered that night includes China virus, the pandemic, the health of the presidential candidate, American economy, global climate, China, foreign relations, Supreme Court justice, race issues, and power transfer. Okay? In Kamala Harris' argument, whenever she comes across the China issue, she would just bypass it, and she refused to talk about the atrocities and crimes committed by the Chinese communists. And you can definitely see that she is on the side of Chinese socialism and the socialist and communist government of China. And you can see that. And Chinese communist media is doing something in return. There was a report later on by an Australian reporter from Beijing when he was watching this broadcast of this debate from Beijing. And whenever Pence talks about China or about Chinese communists, the TV screen in Beijing, was covered. Right? You can see the communists or social communists in China and the socialists in America, they're really working together. Okay? As to the health of presidential candidates, both sides avoided this topic. It's a very sensitive topic. We can understand that. But there will also you have to keep in mind that we have seen Kamala Harris talking about the Harris administration a lot during the campaign. I think she's very ambitious. I think very ambitious, and that she you thought about having Kamala Harris, something like Kamala Harris with Joe Biden as president. What's that? What is that? I think she's too ambitious, and she's too eager to push for her left, extreme left ideals and her socialist agenda. Okay? On national economy, I don't think Kamala Harris has launched a good fight towards Biden, right? And also refute the Democrats the policy of stopping Trump's tax policy, tax reduction, and they are going after high taxes for sure, right? On the argument about the global climate change, and Kamala Harris was yeah, Democrat senator from Democrat senator, and she was the first one among the first ones to support the new Green Deal. And now, when this is exposed pointed out by Pence, she had nothing to say. Right? On the Supreme Court justice issue, this important issue of Supreme Court justice, right? And Kamala Harris was asked by Pence 3 times. Yeah, yeah. Do you are Democrats going to pack the Supreme Court? Right? And she would not recognize that, would not acknowledge that. Right? They also, she on the issue of abortion, Roe v. Wade. I think she was really overwhelmed by Pence's statement that I'm pro-life. I never regret. I think that was really powerful and overwhelming. Overall, I feel that Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, is really great gentleman. He sits there, solid and sturdy, and his words, very sound and profound. Right? As a symbol of traditionalism and conservatism, and he has done really well for President Trump. Right? And Senator Harris, in my opinion, she may have shown those face expressions with exaggeration, but she really doesn't have the competence. Her body languages are showing that she's really just trying to appease the voters to get her the vote, and I don't think she has a solid foundation for her belief and ideals. I think she's more like an actress than being a statesman for the U.S. presidency, in my opinion. Also, the closing remarks by Pence, and he summarized the achievements, all the accomplishments by President Trump's team in the past 3 years, and make people feel that it's great. We make American people, a lot of watchers, feel that they're so happy with what Trump team has done over the years to make America great again. Yeah. And also, I think he and his ideal and his effort with Trump also make American people and people of the world feel more comfortable that even though the socialism and communism, the ideals are spreading, are torturing America and the world, but at least they are the conservative forces, and that's is gaining the upper hand. So, and the traditionalism and the conservatism are really crushing those left and the extremist views. I think that's great. in my opinion, and Vice President Pence has built himself as a great candidate for 2024 presidential election after 4 more years by Trump, in my opinion. So there's a great hope for a return of traditionalism and conservatism in America. That's my opinion. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.